Vito, congratulations on abusing the system in the weight loss contest to win the money. We were so pleased when Dick came on here and he was frustrated.
He was
with
upset.
It,
he was
upset. Yeah, I guess we gave you some advice on cutting water weight overnight.
Yeah. He's like, what did you do? And I said, the PKA boys set me up fine. Gave me some old circus tricks to cut the weight down. Because I knew what would happen if I didn't make weight. I'd hear about it till the end of the show. Like every other episode would be like, welcome to the biggest problem in the universe, that show where the fat guy couldn't lose 30 pounds. And I'm like, I can't have that. Can't be every epised is that. So I cut the weight. I went to the sauna. I won like $1,200.
Dude, I'm loving this.
Dude. People were placing side bets. They're like, that fat son of a bitch, there's no way he's going to lose the weight. So I got a guy like calling me up in the middle of the night. He's like, I lost 500 pounds. I didn't know you were going to rope-a-dope me, hitting up the sauna. And I'm like, hey, man, the rules do not say I can't rope-a-dope. Like, I can.
Dick was all pissed. You know how he is, like, in his real, like, sort of yelly voice.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. He lost all the way to one night. And I'm like, yeah.
Because I went on.
For money then.
I went on we did the show and it was on a Friday and he's like, all right, today's the final weigh-in. And I went, well, actually, if you look at the website, I still got like 3 days left. So I'm like, we got to push it to next week. He's like, all right, fine, I'll give you another week. Because he had weighed me beforehand and he knew I didn't make it. And he's like, it doesn't matter. He's only got a week. There's nothing he can do. And then I just did a week. I ate like nothing. I was peeing. I took those tablets to make you pee a bunch. Passing out in the sauna. They had to drag me out, and that's fine. Because all that heat and all that weight came off. And yeah, I won $1,200. Some parts of the audience are like, you could have just like dieted and exercised like a normal person. I'm like, I tried that. That's hard. All right?
It is hard. It sucks.
It's really hard. It sucks.
When you're in the habit of eating whatever you want all the time, and you try and not, it's tough. It's like, what do normal people do to feel good right now?
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yes, I gotta cut myself.
You also, Dick was disgusted when he mentioned your celebration dinner immediately afterward.
Yes.
What was it that you had again?
For some reason, I don't know what it was, but I got in my head. I'm like, the second I can eat again, I just want to eat as much Taco Bell as quickly as possible. So I ran to Dick's house right at like an hour before showtime, and I said, weigh me right the fuck now. I took off all my clothes except for my underwear. And he's like, oh my God. I'm like, I don't care. I want to win this. All right. And then he weighed in, and the second he weighed me in, I went, all right, you got the number? Good. And then I just sat down and I ate burritos until the show started.
You should have it right in front of him.
I think I was eating during the show as well. Yeah, it was not pretty. It was not I wanted a cheesy gordita crunch, man.
Oh, have you maintained any weight loss from it, or are you back to your fighting weight?
I am beef.
For the crunch wrap?
Yeah, it's important.
I don't like. I just like the Taco Bell beef. Their chicken and their steak is like
that's the wrong answer.
I don't know, man.
Those are the grossest thing you could have said. That's the worst.
I was hoping you'd be like no meat potatoes.
No. Look, I'm in LA. If I want a real taco, I go to a Mexican guy. If I want to eat like an idiot, I got a Taco Bell and I get fake tacos.
Oh,
I'll say this. I started at 310. I got down to 280 for the weight loss contest. Then Christmas hit, and it's like, what are you going to do? You got to eat a little turkey. You got to do whatever. I came back up.
That's where it hurts you, the turkey.
Right now I'm back down. I'm hovering around 290, but we've picked up some healthy habits. Very good. You can see right here, we got the 0-calorie Gatorade, only 5 calories.
Very nice. We're hovering close to 290. Not.
We're at like 291. I'm trying to get under it efficiently. And I just got to kick my own ass.
How tall?
My sister said, how tall am I? I'm 6 foot. So
okay. That's fine. Like you're not in a terrible situation. Like you're not.
It could be way worse.
Oh yeah. If you said like 5'7", it's like, oh
yeah, you're fucked. Oh. It's actually great. There's one picture that I took. It's weird. I don't know. It must be the camera angle on our biggest problem in the universe. Everyone assumes I'm like a really short guy, but me and Dick are basically like the same height. So there's like one picture of us standing side by side, and every time people see that picture, the reaction is always, "Oh, you're not like the fattest motherfucker who ever lived. You're just like a little too big." I'm like, all right, cool.
You're basically the same height and weight as Brock Lesnar.
Yeah,
rounded up.
I'm a Lesnar.
Yeah. You and Lesnar, same weight class. That's good.
That's funny to like sit on the couch as like a fat guy watching like the NFL combine and be like, yeah, me and that guy about the same size.
Oh, okay. Oh, look, honey, it's my weight division.
See, the difference is this guy's 6'8" and I'm 5'8", though.
I sent him a letter. I said, if they ever need to swap somebody in on the field, I'm available. You know, they've expressed
Jason Kelsey
interest.
just retired, open spot. Just saying.
Oh,
Not a bad idea.
Yeah, try it out.
I was doing the Ozempic at one point, but it started making me violently ill. And then my sister sent me.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
Right
Wait a minute,
pain, baby. You'll never
maybe I'm not
make it in
supposed
the
to say who
NFL.
sent it to me because now all this stuff, it's all bootleg weight loss drugs now. So my sister's like, hey, I got some extra. Let me send it to you.
Whoa.
And it doesn't come in like a normal like pill bottle. It's like vials labeled with the Mountain Dew logo on them. And I'm like, what are they going to make the weight loss drugs sketch and fucked up? Like,
Wait.
I wouldn't like. Is it like flavored?
Mountain Dew label? Does it actually have?
He has street. He has street.
I have
drug
street Ozempic.
Yeah. So
it's the new designer Ozempic. It's probably cut with fentanyl. Like I'm all worried about.
That would be
nose
so
out of the
funny
air.
if you
Street
died from a
Ozempic is
fentanyl
fine.
overdose.
like
street Ozempic.
like there are like
everything
bootleg-
you've ever consumed came from a pharmacy.
Well,
All I
no.
know is I got these bottles of
Most of
peptides,
them.
and I got to mix them up right, or I'm
Not an
probably
official
gonna die. So, we'll see.
You have to mix the way you got.
I got to
sent,
mix
it's
it
like a
myself,
kit.
so you have to get the water. You got to get the needles.
What is
And
that
then
water called? Is it special
Bacteriostatic water. It's like super
I don't know what
purified
that
water.
Yeah.
I don't know either. It's
regular
bacteriostatic
distilled
water.
water is gross, I guess.
I don't know.
You
It
don't
comes in this
inject that
little
into your
vial.
body.
And then there's all these guys online.
drink
Probably all the guys doing steroids right now are
Not
probably
into your
listening to
veins.
this.
I what you're doing is so sketchy to me. It was
Yeah.
like when I was like researching stuff a couple years ago, like performance enhancing drugs and all sorts of things, from everything from HGH to like weird steroids. It's like, yeah, you can just mix this stuff at home. I'm like, wait, what the fuck do you mean mix it at home? This ain't Betty Crocker. This is medical science. Like, no, they send you this, and then you just get the water off the internet. What? And then and I can just imagine like adding special what is it?
Bacteriostatic water.
Static water, yeah. Into there and be like shaking it, I guess, and be like, yeah, that looks about right to inject into my body. Yeah.
Well, that's the scary part is that you go online and you're trying to find like a guide to how to do it, but it's all written by like Crunk Monkey 420. And, like, and it's all like, from like these old steroid guides from like 2004 Usenet message boards. And it's like, oh yeah, when you put the water in, you can't just like inject it in. You have to let it leak down the side of the bottle or else you won't activate the peptides correctly and you'll die.
Yeah,
and
last
you only
post
shake
11
it,
years ago.
you have to shake it 2 times, 1 time, 3 times, 2 times, 1 time. If you shake it 5 times, 1 time, 3 times, then there's a reaction, and you're like, why can't a doctor do this?
I think I got this.
Because you don't want to pay for that.
Down,
Clearly.
down, left, right, A, B.
Well, it's not that I don't want to pay for it.
Weight loss
First of all, my health insurance, like nobody can get it. That's the thing about these weight loss drugs. Nobody has them. The only places that have them are these fucked up labs that are selling it for research purposes.
That's why it wasn't sketch to me. I was like, there's no other way to get Ozempic.
No, not really. No.
It's like, I don't know, smoking pot 15 years ago or something. Like, yeah, it came from some national forest in Mexico. They all do.
I thought it was some like rare
Is it not a
like
pharmaceutical?
diabetes medicine. Before
They have, you can get it prescribed, but the problem is that the supply is so finite that like, I think these labs are just selling it.
The idea that an American doctor can't get me something is just flabbergasting.
Well, let's put it this way. Once they figured out it worked on fatty boom baddies, they were like, let's just put every fat person in America on. Like, literally, right now, every fat person in America is going to their doctor, and they're like, so should I exercise? Should I eat right? And they're like, no, we have a magic pill. Just wait until it comes in stock.
Actually, that doesn't make me money, but this does. So I'm going to recommend it. It must be funny to be like in your, wearing kitchen gloves on your counter, mixing this up, counting your shakes, and having like just a brief moment of lucidity.
I feel like I'm in Breaking Bad,
where
but
it's
I know someone who
this
gets
is all
Ozempic,
this is
from their
all
doctor.
just to avoid eating less.
yeah, it's just, I'm not even going to get a cool high. It's just going to make me not want to eat chicken
The last
sandwiches
time I
until I
wore
die.
these, I cleaned the toilet, but I feel like I'm in Breaking Bad, so it must be okay.
Yeah.
Zach's saying they can't make enough because it was a diabetes drug, so they can't get
That's what I
enough for
thought.
the diabetics.
Well, fuck those
So-
diabetics. Like God cursed them once. They can wait in line.
Well, it depends
I know
what kind they
someone who's
have.
on it, and they were like, yeah, I'm gonna go get some Ozempic. I was like, cool. And then they came back the next day, like, I got Ozempic, and now they use Ozempic.
Are they
It
thin?
seemed like Yes, they've lost 30 pounds in like
Who's
3
this?
or 4 months or something. A friend.
Somebody you
An
know, a
associate
boy
of
or
mine.
girl that you know in real life.
A colleague.
They don't. They're binary.
Oh,
Oh.
seriously?
No,
You mean non?
I'm just trying to get a
If they're
vibe.
binary, that would mean they're just
it's a guy. It's a guy. It's a guy.
No, it's good.
I
lost
just didn't know
weight.
why it mattered. It's a guy.
People are
I didn't
pissed
know
right
it was hard
now.
to get.
What do you call it? Like, Weight Watchers that they've always been like, oh, eat right and exercise and whatever else. All the Weight Watchers people have been doing that their whole lives are pissed because Weight Watchers is like, yeah, we're gonna start selling that drug. And like, but I've been on Weight Watchers 20 years. You guys told me the path to happiness was to curb healthy eating habits, whatever, and they're like, nah, fuck that.
You saw
Like,
Oprah.
It's hard. You're adding up points all day.
So
I
Oprah has been
imagine.
the Weight Watchers lady for some time now.
Yes.
And I know that their stock really went up when she got on board. And I think she recently got off because she is on Ozempic. And I think their stock dropped. Which like
Wouldn't
how
she be
can
a bad representative? I thought she struggled with her weight like up and down a ton of times.
she
Bad
yes,
representative,
but it
but a
goes
good
down because of
motivator.
Weight Watchers.
A good salesman, right? Like every time she has success, she gets out there, takes some pictures, and says, "Look what Weight Watchers did for me."
Mhm.
That
Yeah, I guess it's like a
yo-yo is
reminder
a
every 4
brilliant
years.
business strategy, actually. Up and down, up and you can't lose weight once.
Yeah,
She's so goddamn rich.
that's
and
true.
she's-
It's hard to lose weight once.
She's done it so many times. As you know, people like Woody and I who remember when she had a daytime talk show. It's like, man, she has been like 50 different sizes. It's a good thing she's a billionaire because no one else could afford the wardrobe.
You know what I
mean,
mean? Oh,
she's
I
been
hated when
everything
she
from
ran that
skinny and
marathon.
hot to like fat.
dude, that bitch ran a marathon. Dude, if it takes you 12 fucking hours to run a marathon, you didn't run one step, you fat whore. You walked the marathon and told everyone you ran it.
So true. And I'm on that team. I was blown away when like I realized that anyone who completes a marathon can just say they ran it. They all get t-shirts. The people that walk across the finish line 9 hours in, they get a t-shirt and a wristband the same as everyone else. And that's stolen valor if I've
Was
ever
it
seen it.
26 miles or something?
Yes, that's what 3 miles an
26.2.
hour. That's a walking speed.
Bro, that's pathetic. I've never done.
First of all,
anything
play
like
a
that.
real sport. Get out. First of all, get out of the road. You know, that's enough of that. Everybody,
here?
I can't go to
I
Shake
used to
Shack
live
because
in-
you're fucking around.
I used to
Like-
live in Boston, and we were talking about fucking marathon shutting down the whole city. You're like, oh my god, I can't go anywhere because a bunch of idiots have to run today.
Do they sell shirts that are like "I survived the Boston Marathon"?
What's a respectable
Not
time
after
for, like-
that guy bombed
Oh my
it. Those
God.
shirts took on a different
Together
meaning,
immediately.
unfortunately.
That would be a
I
good.
survived the Boston Marathon is not a popular phrase.
Dude, it
No,
should be.
no.
That's hilarious.
I had a blast
Never
at
forget.
the Boston Marathon. No, take those shirts down. That's not good.
blast at the Boston Marathon.
The pressure is on. Cooking at the Boston. No. Why did we make pressure cooker fucking t-shirts? Doesn't even make sense from a logistical standpoint. What's
That was
weird about the Ozempic stuff that I've been reading is that it curbs like all forms of addiction. They've started giving it to like gambling
Ooh.
addicts.
Wow.
And guys are like,
Wow.
oh, I don't need to gamble anymore. I'm just I don't have that thing in me.
I'd want to
We're
talk
about
to
to
a
see
gambling
some-
addict and hear.
We're gonna
what
see some
they said
weird
about it.
changes. We're gonna see a
It's
lot of
ruined poker for me, Taylor. What if
That's
that
what it
was the
was.
take?
Yeah.
What if their take was, I used to get pleasure from like all sorts of things. I like to eat a good meal. I like to play a little poker. Sometimes I bet on the ponies. It never got out of hand until my diabetes flared up and I had to take Ozempic. Now nothing gives me pleasure. Now every waking moment is just a dull throb.
Yeah,
That's the state of
Ozempic.
humanity.
Call me
Ozempic.
Dr. Day.
Ozempic.
eating carrot sticks, frowning.
Holy shit. Yeah,
Because
I don't know
nothing
about that one.
matters anymore.
That could
Does
be.
it-
I would have to. I'd be
Does it
so
curb
sad
a
to go.
porn addiction? Does it change your preferences? Right, you got to start like it. What if you're like deep into the porn rabbit hole, right? And now you're
Yeah.
all the way to like the extreme shit,
You're a class
dig
5 gooner.
right? And now you get on a Ozempic and you still like porn. You just backed it off to like loving couples.
I mean, rationally, if it helps with gambling, it seems like you could plug any addiction in, right?
Reddit.
It says,
Because
it says it
gambling
can
is
help
like-
with like alcoholics and stuff. It's weird, man.
Interesting.
We're just fucking with the brain.
I would be so curious what a gamble, like specifically a gambling addict, because like there's no like substance you're getting. It's just the dopamine of gambling, like
Yeah.
talking to them. Because I bet it would be something like, oh, I just don't feel that impulse anymore. Almost like maybe they're muted. But then
Or
if they're
maybe
muted
winning
in a
doesn't
bunch
make
of
them feel
different
as good
ways, that
anymore.
could be negative. Then maybe they're not as affectionate with their loved ones, not as close to their family. They're just more muted.
When you can get it, is it expensive? Like, is this like $1,000 a month, or is this like $5,000 a month?
When I got a supply, I forget. I think it would be a 1 month supply if you're on the highest dose, but I started off at a lower dose, so it lasted me longer. So I think it was $300 for a 1 month supply, which is not of just getting the peptides. I'm sure if you get it like through your doctor, they're going to charge your health insurance.
That's basically free if you actually have a fat loss pill or shot or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean?
So I'm gonna call that $4,000 a year because I made up some shipping and bullshit.
Yeah.
If $4,000 a year to be skinny, like it sounds like a lot of money.
Eating $4,000 less food.
Once you get skinny, like you're good,
At
right?
least. Like,
no, I think
people
people who go off at Ozempic have a terrible track record of regaining the weight.
Yeah.
Like
makes sense.
It's close to 100%. So, but you know what? Take it forever. The important thing is that you look good.
The same's true. I mean,
Pish posh.
You could say that about diet and
down the road
too, though, right? Like people who lose weight through diet and exercise, when they stop diet and exercise, 100% of the time gain the weight.
I remember.
Yeah, you gotta keep it up.
MTV had one of those. What was it, like True Life, where it was like people who got the weight loss surgery.
Oh, yeah.
And that kid got the lap band, the one that like goes around, so it, like your intestines has like a band around it, so food doesn't get through as quick. Kid lost like 100 pounds. He's like, all right, I think I could take the lap band off. That'll be fine. And it's like the day he gets the lap band on, he goes to the diner. He's like, let me get 2 milkshakes. And he's like, well, I'll just treat myself a little bit. Let me get 2 more milkshakes. I watched this motherfucker drink like 10 milkshakes, and I'm like, oh, this is not going to work. And then it was like 6 months later, and he was like, God fucking damn it.
Oh, it happened again. And it will happen. I guess if the only reason you're not eating a bunch is because you are inducing a chemical that forces you not to, and then you get rid of it, like, it's not like there's going to be any lingering discipline.
Is it that shit that's happening in Haiti right now? I don't even know if y'all have y'all caught any of it, because here's what happens.
There's never good news out of there.
I'm not usually.
All right, so Haiti, as you know, always doing well.
They're just a thriving country. Yeah.
Can't stop winning.
They had everything in hand. I'm sure the government had everything well within hand up until like last week, when a group of gangs broke into all the prisons and broke out all the prisoners. And then the prisoners joined with the gangs to overthrow the government. And then the president fled the country. He flew to Kenya to hide because the gangs took over Haiti. And now the gangs are giving ultimatums. So literally,
let's see how it pans out.
Like Haiti fell. It got conquered like in a game of Civilization. And nobody even noticed.
That's awesome.
It looks about the same.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's like in Civilization, if you're really bad at Civ, like if you have like 0 defense, the barbarians will very rarely conquer your city. And everybody's like, "What the fuck happened? The barbarians got you?" It's like, yeah. That's what happened to Haiti. They got conquered by the barbarians this last week.
Dude, they didn't tech into fucking pottery or whatever it takes to keep the barbarians out. I never played Civ. I don't know.
Pottery would help.
I know that's the first thing you get is pottery. Yeah. Well, so what are we like involved in Haiti now?
No one cares.
There's no oil in Haiti, you silly goose.
They ain't got no oil. They ain't got no cadmium. They don't have any cobalt, no lithium. Yeah. All they got is...
There's lots of other beach options.
And for some reason, they don't have any fucking trees. I don't know what happened there, France.
Yeah, they need to... They should... I mean, at a certain point, just plant more trees, right?
Yeah. The primary exports of Haiti are clothing, scrap metal.
It doesn't work, though.
Vegetable oil, and
the trees hold the topsoil there. So
who's hard up for dates? I don't give a shit about Haiti.
Did you look that up?
I did look that up. Those are the primary exports.
Save again.
Clothing, scrap metal, vegetable oil, dates, and cocoa. Maybe the cocoa would be nice.
Okay.
Yeah. The fact that scrap metal is one of your chief exports says a lot. What is your chief export? Garbage. We have abundant.
Cool.
No,
garbage.
You don't lead that. They go, it is cocoa, and then some other stuff.
I want to hear about the other stuff. Don't worry about that.
Do not worry about
cocoa's chocolate, right?
Yeah.
Cocoa, yeah.
And coca is cocaine, right?
cacao is what they actually. Cacao is what they actually export, I'm sure, because there's no way they can process cacao in that shithole country. So I guarantee it says cacao, not
it
cocoa.
Says cocoa. I'm looking at it.
What
website?
It's
Haiti exports, trading economic. Search primary exports Haiti. Here, I'll put it in the chat.
Perhaps.
Primary exports Haiti.
I think that these entrepreneurial gangsters and prisoners can figure out how to process cacao. I
remember when they had the earthquake when I was like 2010 or something, and they were, maybe you don't remember the visuals, but they were doing that thing where like one person has the feet of a dead person, one person has the arms of a dead person, and they were like heave-hoeing them in these piles. And then I clicked a GIF on Reddit, and it was that, but it was set to "They see me throwing the Haitian," and I never laughed so hard in my life. It was the
Wait, is 41% of their economy T-shirts? That can't be correct.
And sweaters?
I think it is. Holy shit.
All that green stuff is textiles, it looks like.
Yeah.
They really exaggerated on that scrap metal shit. 1.4%.
All right, where's cacao
so it's
on
all
here?
Clothing.
Essential
oils.
Lead. Where's the cacao? Were they fibbing?
Essential oils.
I don't know.
You better get some real fucking oil. That's what's essential.
Gravel and crushed stone. Paintings. Oh, paintings out. Oh,
there's no way that if you go over a real country, you get embarrassing products like this. And like
let's pick all right. What's a little country that you don't think
that we think well of or we think shit of?
That we think well of, and we'll see what they do. Like Estonia or something.
No, don't do that. It's probably like monkfish and
Iceland,
silver ore or some shit. I bet Iceland's got some cool shit there. I bet Iceland's
I bet energy's one of theirs, maybe, right?
Yeah, they got
to do
Iceland
from Iceland, right? Fish,
I bet. Yeah, fish is probably big. Zach, pull up Iceland. Yeah, I'm gonna guess fish is big. Zach, I guarantee they don't have scrap metal or paintings on there. I bet they export a disproportionate amount of strongmen.
Aluminum,
raw aluminum. See, now there's an export.
Ferroalloys. Look at that. That's sign.
A bunch of
fish fillets. Look at all that fucking fish. I was right. And fish oil.
Orthodontic appliances.
This is a real society right here. Okay,
they're fishing people.
Where do you see orthodontic appliances?
Dark purple in the right column.
Right there.
What's Poland up to? I'm a big fan of Poland.
Yeah, what's Poland up to?
They've had a huge economic recovery. They hired some economist from Harvard, and he gave them a game plan. They followed it, and it was amazing.
All other countries have inferior potassium.
Yeah, I wonder if Kazakhstan does deport a lot of potassium.
I think they do. He did a lot of research, but then he would bastardize it to upset them extra. So it's one thing if you said so they drink this drink that's fermented goat milk, I think, or sheep's milk, some animal. Yeah. It's like an old timey cultural thing in Kazakhstan. But Borat says it's goat piss. So that's just even more of an insult. But yeah, that's
those poor Kazakhs.
Batteries. Okay.
Who is this? This is Poland.
Wow, Coke almost at 1%.
Coke,
like the
it says
not Coca-Cola, like the
What is Coke? It says it's a mining thing, like the coal version of Coke.
Right.
Oh. Yeah. I don't. Yeah, I've never seen that before.
Yeah, it's right there with electricity. That must be a kind of energy. Coke, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, Coke's like a byproduct or something. I forget what it is. Coke.
But apparently, some people want it.
Coke is a gray, hard, porous.
Germany dominating that right graph. Germany just can't stop with economy. Germans love economy.
They're an industrious folk. Like there's something to be said about regions of because I feel like we hit the reset button on their society, right? Like it's not like the same German gumption that made them great for World War I and the wars even before then is still there, right? Like what is it about Germans that make them so industrious and efficient?
They love engineering. They seem to just love it. They can't get enough of it.
Every kid's taking watches apart in the cradle or some shit.
A more fun gun for us.
They do have a certain obsession with precision and intricate engineering or whatever else. Germany has a bit is huge on board games, right? I worked for a board game company, and we went to Germany to show off our game because they're one of the primary consumers of board games. They have Spiel des Essen, which is like the biggest board game festival in the world. And they're all just there, just like lining up little like train. They love trains too, toy trains. And then all their board games are half the board games in Germany are just trains. Like in this game, the train goes west. In that game, it goes north. And you're like, all right, I don't give a shit. But yeah, I met some Germans. It's like an interesting country. But apparently they have a big problem because it's very easy to get on the government dole in Germany. Yeah. So I asked a guy, I'm like, what are all your like friends do? He was like a young guy. He's like, oh, they just like the government just pays them to live in an apartment and play fucking World of Warcraft all day long.
Ah, well, that's not.
He's like, they don't have to do anything. Yeah, it's weird.
They should be inventing more precise watches like their forefathers.
Kind of I think that the government make like... a living in video games, right?
I think
their government is like, as long as they're not doing Nazi stuff, this is fine.
Yeah,
they're so against Nazi stuff. They went so far the other way. They're like the only people cheering for Israel right now. Like every time I hear Germany mentioned about the Israeli conflict, they're like, do what you have to do. Whatever it takes.
Man,
what are you a knife guy? Someone was telling me.
I do like knives, yeah.
You do like knives.
Yeah, he's got a little Mexican in him.
You got like a little collection.
He is what I like to call a student of the blade.
Have you ever bought a knife from PKA Knives? Do you know those guys?
We had a knife once, but I've never heard of a PKA. We go to Blade HQ and some other one. I forget.
Oh, because my buddy owns a knife warehouse, and it's where I want to retire.
In a knife warehouse.
They used to be in Vegas, but then his brother got a bunch of cocaine with fentanyl in it and died, and he left the whole business to my buddy. So my buddy's like, I guess I run one of the third largest mail order knife company in America now. Yeah, and he moved the whole thing to New Hampshire, and then he's just got a big warehouse full of knives and a bunch of weird Russians, and they just ship knives around the country.
Are you a knife guy? If so, what's in your pocket right now?
No, I'm not a knife guy, but I'm always calling him up, and I'm like, what's up in the world of knives? Like, any good stabbings lately? And he's like, that's not how the knife world works.
So I'm not into knives. I'm not into knives. I have a few. They're not very special. But what I am into, although I don't have any, is swords. I like swords. Now, I don't want to be that fucking
stupid question. Can you have them?
Yeah. Dude, I pray you get into swords in your late 30s.
Dude, get into swords.
Dude, swords you need to be the sword guy. Fuck the Zippo guy.
Plan. I got some plastic swords back there.
I want to be Blade. I'm going back to toothpick guy. I'm sorry. I took a step too far.
No, sword guy. Commit.
Don't knock me.
Do it.
You can have toothpick guy. I remember when we picked these, when we drafted these, I'm still leaning on the wall, flipping a coin guy. And I think that's a cool guy.
I really want to see you incompetently try to slice through one.
You also do that thing where you like walking across.
That'd be great.
I want to tune in to a new episode of PKA, and we go, Kyle, what new sword did you get this week? And you go, well, this
every episode, Kyle has more bandages on his fingers.
He's like, dumbass, this is a katana, not a sword.
This is a.
I don't want to select.
Who got you katana?
Whenever I look at forged them, what I would want is something that took a lot of time to make and was like well crafted. From what I understand,
find us a sword example that we could link up, like something
Fear
that
not
you
the man with a
would love
$1,000 sword. Feel the man with $1,001
sword. Dream blade.
Yeah, I don't.
And I'm not doing it to make fun of you.
I would want. Fuck you.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I love it.
How did you get that footage of me?
That guy had a gladius. That was a cool sword. So
that's neat. I don't think that was a gladius.
Oh, I thought it was.
I would want
short sword.
I would not want a katana because I feel like that's so cringe. And from what I understand, the reason they fold that steel 1,000 fucking times is because Japanese ore is so shitty. But I would like maybe something from my ancestors, so I'm not being such a poseur. Like maybe some sort of Scottish broadsword or something, some sort of English weapon of some kind. Like not a giant long sword because those look so unwieldy and
claymore.
Also, yeah, that's too big. I want something that you could sort of hold in one hand and sort of like wave about when no one's looking.
What's a curved sword called? It's
a falchion.
Scabbard.
Oh, a scimitar.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. The scimitar with a feather on it. It's cool, right?
Oh, like one of those like almost
need to be a pirate with a feather in my hat.
some swords,
and
Zach.
the sword.
Let us
Like you picture a guy like riding a camel with
like women have
Yeah.
gemstones. Men should have swords for each month. There should be if you're a Taurus, like this is the sword that.
Oh,
that you
right,
carry.
right.
That'd be
Yeah,
cool.
like if you're born in March, you're a freaking Gladius guy, and in April is a. katana.
What sign are you, Taylor?
Taurus.
Oh, me too.
Really?
Yeah.
See, that's why we get along, or it's why we butt heads, whatever it says.
Yes. So the Gladius is cool. I feel like I would be proud to own a fine, well-made Gladius. Some of the others are so thin. I feel
Gladius is cool.
I want to
Honestly, of all those,
saber.
Gladius is the coolest.
Swiss saber, right? Just below the middle.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
You remember just drawing swords as a kid? Just being like, look at this cool
Yes.
sword I drew.
Yeah, dude, it was all swords.
I remember
and
all of
fucking-
elementary school was like hanging out with a bunch of guys at like lunch, and we're like, hey, let's see who can draw the coolest sword. And we did that a lot.
we
we used to have sword
perennial
fights.
winners and losers.
We had sword
all
fights
the time.
too, but then we got detention because
We'd hit each other with sticks, pretending.
I was homeschooled, so we just had to
Yeah.
go to the doctor after.
Kyle,
I am tempted to
losing
become a
record
knife
versus
guy,
Glenn.
though. I'm like slowly going down the rabbit
I do
hole
have a
of
losing
becoming a
record.
knife guy.
Knives are cool. There aren't too
What
many
kind-
things in our lives that are built to a high craftsman quality, right? Like, your dishwasher is garbage. It's going to be ruined in 4 years. I don't know, your whole life, your fucking Wi-Fi router, your keyboard, if you don't have a great one, everything is just consumer grade bullshit.
You can
But
tear
they
it
make
apart with your bare
knives
hands.
that are done well.
Did I say PKA knives? Because I meant PVK. Sorry.
PVK. That makes
And
more
take a look
sense.
at that link I just sent real quick, because I always look at I'm like, man, my buddy's all so enthusiastic about these, and I'm like, I kind of get it. They're pretty cool.
Let's see what we got.
I found some Gladiuses.
I like it. Dude needs.
And then he would always tell me stories about in Vegas, like, God, who's the guy who made Nightmare? Tim Burton would come in, and he's like fanciful Tim Burton garb, and be like, show me your most magical knives. And he'd
There's
take
no
him in the
way they got
back and-
permission from that actress from Vikings.
Oh, that looks sick.
Dude, Kyle, you can't afford not to get a Centurion Gladius for $245. Look at that. Look at the beautiful pommel. on it.
Oh, look at that pommel. I do like a.
Think of the
good-
dogs at the dog park
bat
when they
pommel.
bully Murphy.
Oh,
The blow
I
you'll
would
be able
cut-
to deliver.
I would cut them down like chaff.
Oh,
He has a
Would be covered in
Microtech out
blood.
the front automatic knife. I have that one.
Those are
Oh yeah,
cool
the
knives.
Microtechs are like the most popular ones, right?
those are
Of course.
Oh yeah, that one in the top left. I have it in black.
Like 90% of what they sell is
It's
the
red in that
Microtechs.
picture. Yeah.
They're pretty badass.
Get that bottle of knife lube there, because you don't want to use some like fucking oil or some shit. Yeah, get that knife pivot lube, that KPL.
I got knife lube right here, baby.
Yeah, Kyle, you don't lube your knives daily?
The fact that you pulled that out is blowing my mind so hard right now.
Told- I'm
For those of you who are audio
poser.
only, I was making fun of the fact that
got
knife
knives.
store sells knife-specific
Oh,
pivot
yeah.
lube, and I thought it was silly. And Woody not only owns some and has some, it's within reach.
Yeah. It was in his knife lube holster. Right on his side.
I keep it on my belt.
Hold on, sir. Before we engage in fisticuffs, allow me to oil my blade. Yeah. Anyway,
The problem is you
Kyle,
buy all these
who's
knives,
against
and then it's like you only get the opportunity to cut someone like once every couple years, right?
Mhm.
I open
And
boxes
and you're going to
with
end
them.
up getting cut too. And
I
What
think
I
it's home
actually carry
defense.
is a Leatherman.
Yeah.
I think knife guys, they prefer, I don't know, something more knifey. But I use my Leatherman every day, all day, all the time.
Do you always look forward to like a knife-specific task? You're like, oh, you need someone to cut that rope into 536-inch strands? Well, sha-sha! Yeah. Wow, that knife opened quickly. Yeah, I use my knife pivot lube.
I use the knife to open boxes, and I cut tubes a lot because I keep this fish tank thing, and I always seem to be fussing with a tube here or there. But I use the scissors and the file on my fingernails. I like my fingernails short, probably too short. It's probably not the most cosmetic way to do it, but it's how I like them. So all my fingernails and toenails are short from my file and scissors. What do you have, Kyle?
Is that a blade?
I've got my
Oh, you have a
fancy
grooming
blade.
kit. of some
Yeah,
sort.
this weird grooming kit. I think it's for shaving calluses off because it comes with very aggressive blades.
Yeah, and you keep
I've
that in
been-
your gaming
I've
place.
been using it for
Oh.
marijuana concentrate though. You really clean it up well. You don't waste any. And if you ever do have a callus, these are really aggressively sharp. Can't tell, but they're like super duper sharp.
Jeez.
Yeah, but
Jeez, that's
yeah.
scary.
But
man.
this is the most aggressive file. This file is so aggressive. I don't like to touch it. It's like I got I got fast food the other day, and I got they gave me a fucking paper straw, and I recoiled when I felt what a paper straw felt like on my fingers. I'm one of those.
Feels
I
bad on
don't
your
like-
lips too.
Like I've
yeah,
got
that's
some-
what it gets.
Feels
So
tacky.
I'm not alone in this. I think it's fairly common that like if you ever lick the wooden popsicle stick, I get like shivers. I
Yeah.
hate it.
Yeah, what is that? What is
don't
that?
know.
Oh, it's more common than I thought. Yeah,
It's
so the
just
paper
cringe
straws
that's
do
built-
that to me a little.
Yeah, I get that
It's-
with paper. Ooh,
it's
I'm
a
getting
lot
it
of things
now.
for-
I'm getting it vicariously.
cotton. So it's cotton. It's dry hands, like handling paper,
Scraping
or
a fork
something.
across a plate.
Yeah, fork with knife and fork on like ceramic, nail on the chalkboard. If you bite a popsicle stick when it's sideways and it like that's such a weird feel. It's like that aluminum foil on fillings kind of thing. It's this cringy, awful thing that I've.
I had a
freaking fucked
buddy.
up. Dude, I
who
threw
was-
that straw like it was a snake.
I want to whatever that kid was who's like, did you know that these plastic straws could hurt turtles? It was like a little 8-year-old kid who went around all these. I want to beat the shit out of that kid. If I ever see that kid in the street, that fucking turtle kid,
Oh
I go,
yeah.
you're the reason. We
I
have
hope
paper
fucking
straws."
ISIS found him.
I hope everybody in his school knows who he is, and I hope he's having a bad time.
You are telling me this is the motherfucker? Like
I just
who is
send
the
him
reason
videos
like
he
has to get
smashing
regular
boxes.
stuff
In America,
or what DoorDash?
You're allowed to bully that kid, and no one will hold it against you. You can do anything you want.
Fuck
to
that guy. And it didn't
I
say
hate
any turtle.
Nothing
Woody,
but free
I don't know if
material.
I don't know. Did you see the big fight announcement today?
I did. Oh, dude. So Kyle, like a year ago, reminded me that boxing always disappoints. Right? I get hyped for a fight, and then it's 12 rounds of pillow hands before there's a decision. Oftentimes, but this one that's coming, I don't know what Kyle wants me to watch.
Oh, it's Tyson. It's Tyson hitting mitts. That's all. it
So
is.
what's happening is Jake Paul is going to fight Mike Tyson. And I'm like, I want to say the conventional wisdom of all boxing disappoints might not come true here. It might be good. Jake Paul is going to try to beat Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is going to try to teach Jake Paul who he really is. Mike Tyson's 57. Like at 50, your athleticism is just different. You're a little clunky and stiff, and you look like Chuck Liddell. But Mike Tyson looks like he's 29 somehow, almost. I mean, he didn't when he fought. Was it
Roy Jones?
I couldn't not call him
Junior?
Cuba Gooding Jr., so I had to hold that back.
Oh, he'd slay Cuba. Let's put that fight together.
Dude, he would tune up radio so hard.
But
Get away from that fucking shopping
Dude.
cart. I'm about to teach you a lesson.
do you I don't know who wins. Jake Paul's no joke. Mike Tyson's 57. When is the fight? Is it soon? I hope it's soon.
Soon. Not only is it soon,
Jake
Woody,
Paul better
it's
schedule
a
it for
big
5
deal.
years from now.
They're doing it in the AT&T arena or whatever. That's where the Dallas Cowboys play. Okay,
Damn.
it's where do you go to watch it? Netflix.
Yes.
Netflix. This is
Dude,
going
these tickets
to be
are going to be
the most.
Are they selling
watched
tickets?
boxing match
Dude,
of
let's go
all
Tyson.
time.
Team Tyson.
This will be the most watched boxing match of all time. It is free on Netflix.
It's got everything. It's
That's
got everything.
crazy. Kyle,
you're
I
right.
think you're right. I think this might be the most watched boxing match of all time. On Netflix. July 20th.
everyone will
That's a
just
little
tune
farther
in.
away than I hoped. But
Oh, that's going to be wild.
dude, I can't wait. I want to watch it on the Hangout with the boys. Like
I
that.
hope how great would it be if Mike Tyson knocked him out? Like, how crazy would that be? I look forward to the fight. I said when it happened that actually I'm thinking of the Ngannou fight. The Ngannou fight was the best boxing match I've ever seen. As far as
Decision,
entertainment, like I don't care about style or whatever. Ngannou versus Tyson Fury was the best boxing match I've ever seen as far as entertainment value and shit actually happening. Meanwhile, like I remember that Roy Jones Jr. Tyson fight. I think that's the one that had like 3 fucking rap acts, maybe some fucking bunch of people I've never heard of course. and it was bad. And they're doing like light shows and stuff. And then when it finally happened, it was such a letdown. It was so awful.
That wasn't the KSI Logan Paul fight you're thinking of with all the show around it.
They do it all the time now. Like they try for some
Maybe
reason.
you're
These
right.
people who put on these fight cards think that we want this other shit. And I'm gonna tell you, I couldn't care less about people dancing and lip singing on a stage to music that's not really my jam. Even if it was, if you fucking dug up AC/DC or whatever and like AC/DC live, I'm like, I'm here to watch Mike Tyson box, and then I'm gonna bounce. Like I'll play it on the way home. Like, what the fuck you mean live? How old are they? Like, I don't care.
Probably
So
70.
on one hand, I completely agree with Kyle. I also saw these events that had too much waiting, too much music. Oh my God, it was like 40 minutes between fights. I hated it. On the other hand, I kind of like that they tried something because the fights can be dull and there are often long gaps in between fights. If music's not the ticket, I hope they find something that is.
I also find the people that they choose to sit behind those booths with microphones, the people they interview as like, we're going to see what little Ray thinks. They're all dressed up like male gay prostitutes. That's what's like cool and hip. They're all wearing a bunch of like reflective bullshit with their like midriff showing. Everybody looks so gay.
I was like, I don't know what male gay prostitutes wear. I'm hoping it's not Hollister.
Why do
Like
I feel like they always got like one bald black guy with like big red framed glasses and like a shiny suit. He's like, oh, I can't wait to tell you all about tonight. Like every
suit's made out
sports
of
event I've been
LEDs.
watching. I think they had one of those at like the super. I don't know what I was watching, but I'm like, is this what sports commentators look like? What happened to like they wore like the yellow like CBS
Like a red
sports
fucking
jacket?
blazer. That
was awesome. That was a good look.
He sat
I
behind
want
that fucking
actual-
microphone.
Tonight on the fight card. Yeah, exactly.
that's
That's what.
All right,
I mean,
now,
it's
Fifth
to
Element.
be fair, is that Lil Nas? That is Lil Nas, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah, it
believe
is.
so.
Okay. To be fair to Lil Nas, he's going for gay man from the future, and he's nailing it.
Mission
so good for him.
accomplished. Yeah.
Those other guys are going for like cool looking guy or something, like flexing wealth and like sexuality at the same time, and it's always so fucking
All those outfits
lame.
were
And
terrible.
it's like, we're here to watch a fight, you fucking fruit. What are you doing dressed like that? Not Little Nas. I actually like Little Nas.
I want actual. Sometimes the fight commentators are terrible. Like I saw them doing the Logan Paul fight, and one of the lines was, "He's so tired, he looks like he just did 2 TikTok dances." And I'm like, all right, I don't want your jokes
I would
right
blow
now.
my brains out if I heard that line.
I want
Like,
actual fight commentating.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's horseshit.
yeah.
I would like to hear from like a boxer, and one who can speak well, though, of course.
UFC
Which-
fighter.
Well,
I thought
now
you were
you're
gonna
asking for
define
the
boxer.
impossibility.
One who
If they
boxes.
tapped into Bisping or something.
I don't
You're
want
gonna box
Stephen A.
or never
Smith.
boxed. Yeah, we'll
If
go
you
with
involve
that.
Stephen A. Smith, then I'm going to put it on mute, and I'm going to find like Joe Rogan doing a simulcast somewhere and play his audio instead, which is honestly what I do when Joe's not doing the commentary. If he's doing a fight companion, if he live streams with his boys and they just watch it and they shoot the shit if the fight's boring, which I can appreciate. I kind of wish Bisbing and like whoever, like if the fight's going like boring as shit and the crowd's booing, they just like, so what are you at for lunch today?
it
I had some chili.
would be funny. I'd like to see.
Oh,
it
it was spicy. And they just go on about that while they fucking sit up there and have a boring lady fight.
A boring lady fight.
Boring
So
lady fight.
you guys are gonna watch it on Netflix?
Yes,
Yeah.
100,000%. Yeah,
I feel like
I'm gonna sign
I
up
feel
for
like this is
Netflix
one of those
again.
things where like nobody's gonna skip it. Why would you?
yeah. I really.
I'd want to go to space if I had like a huge amount of control over what our elevation was in the craft, because I'd want to see what stuff looked
You
like.
get no control.
Yeah, Taylor,
I know I
this
don't get any control. I'm saying like this is 200 years in the future when everybody gets up there. It's fucking a day trip and they put you in a pod and you can kind of peek around. Like I'd want to go way up
I'd
super
want
high.
to go to space,
and then I want to go way
provided I
down.
had nothing to do with controlling the ship. That's critical. If
Hey,
they
Captain!
put me in charge,
I got this.
yeah. I when I had a baby, they asked me to cut the umbilical cord, and it's like me.
Nah.
Jesus Christ! This is a hospital. There's doctors all over.
Yeah.
And you want me?
It's gonna be
You
just
pull out
like
your
that.
gladius.
my Leatherman.
It's gonna be just like that Titanic sub, man. They're gonna hand you the Xbox controller and you gotta pilot your way around.
Okay, I guess I would want it in more of like a go-kart like a kid's go-kart place where I have a little bit of free
In
reign, but they
space.
can pull me back in just in case, because I'd want to see how mountains and like the topography of the planet looked at wildly different elevations. Like, oh, I'm at this height now, and now I can like I can see that river. Oh, let me look at the little map. Oh, that's the Nile River. That's really cool. Let's go higher up. How high do I have to get until I can't see that at all?
It's Google Earth.
No, but like you'd be up there. You could look.
That's an airplane.
Yeah,
you
but
just
no, you
run
can't
the-
see anything
you want
fucking
an
cool
airplane.
from the airplane.
You want a personal hovercraft, and you want to go up and down and see the elevation of rivers.
Not just rivers, all of it.
Oh,
I'd want to get high enough that I could see the lines in between the countries.
cool.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
That's what I
Yeah.
want to do.
I
Yeah.
think I'd want to float around in zero gravity. I'm not like, man, I gotta see
I'm
what
just
that
saying
mountain
that
looks like at a
as
certain
it
height.
stands right now,
Yeah.
I don't feel like going to space you'd even get much out of it. Like it's so early in the beginning of it. Like there's no way
Well,
there's
did you
that much
see when
cool.
Shatner went to
Here-
space?
Here's
And it
what I
was
would
supposed to be
see.
like this big PR thing, like about
Yeah,
how
we
great
talked about
space
that.
is. And then he was just like, man, that was the most depressing fucking thing in my life.
Why,
Yeah,
would,
because,
why
like,
didn't you
yeah.
like it?
Space sucks.
He said
He's like,
that
because
he
he looked at
stared
Earth,
off-
like it's the loneliest. We're just on a rock in the middle of nothingness. Oh
He
my god!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking crisis
something
up
about-
there.
He said something about staring out into
That
the
would be
empty
sad.
void of it all and realizing how alone, how truly alone we were, or something. But here's what I would get out of it. Here's the reasons I would want to go to like the space station, for example. First of all, you're going so goddamn fast, Taylor. Once you're up there, like I don't know, like thousands of miles per second or some shit. That would be cool.
Hmm.
Just like I went 20,000 miles per fucking hour. It was me in outer space. I'm one of the fastest human beings of all time. There's only been 87 human beings have ever gone as fast as I've gone. That would be fucking cool. Also, the zero G weightlessness of just like being a kid and doing like spinning barrel roll cartwheel type things in zero gravity and goofing
No, you
around.
can do that on a
So
plane.
much fun.
I've
Okay,
seen
a
him- I've seen him
NASA
do that.
research plane for brief periods of time when they do loop-de-loops. I'm talking about chilling up there with a bottle of water and squirting little orbs of zero G water at myself and like playing with Jello, doing it for a day or two up there. That would be so fucking cool.
Yeah, okay, that would be cool.
And seeing the Earth from that point of view, that again, only like a few dozen people have ever seen, like looking down and seeing it all, like the whole world from right there through that window would be really.
It sounds cool. But I
I
know
would like
me,
that.
And there's 100% chance that I would make some zero G vomit as I'm up there in
Oh.
space.
Oh, there's a
turning
vomit bag
around
for that.
Upside down. There better be a vomit vacuum or something. I'm not sure if that bag gets it done.
You got to use the same thing they put their dicks in to pee.
Yes.
No, Woody, don't use that. That's the cum one.
I thought it was salty.
You look at it, it's an asshole.
Man, this astronaut ice cream tastes weird. No, Woody, no. Not as
Yeah.
chocolatey as I hoped.
But I wouldn't want to be up there long. Like I wouldn't want to be.
It's a day trip.
Days.
Like,
It fucks
a
up your
few
bones.
days.
That's the weirdest thing. Like the
Yeah,
guys who are
over
on the
time.
International Space
Yeah.
Station.
Do they get
They,
taller?
all their,
No,
they
I
get
think
weak.
they get weak bones.
but I think they do get taller though, because like their bones start floating away from each other.
Yes.
Like,
It's
I've heard
well,
that.
like you're losing like the cartilage between your bones because your bones are no longer, this constant downward force on your bones keeping everything together. Like all your limbs are just floating out there.
Yeah.
I'm
Back
serious.
gets straight.
They get less dense because you're not, continuously putting that stress on your bones like you do your muscles that they heal back from. You're getting very less dense
Very
bones,
weak.
and you're also
Yeah.
getting weak as shit.
Your bones
Um,
could lengthen like a belter.
No,
Says
not
NASA's
like that.
found
Those
the height of astronauts increases approximately 3% over your first 4 days in space. So you
That's
start
pretty good.
Your height starts going up because your bones are floating away, like they're no longer compressing downward.
yeah. Especially if you go to the
Makes sense.
chiropractor first.
You go to the chiropractor
spine
and then you double up on your
You go to
lengthiness.
space. You get chiropractor then space. They stretch you out and then you never go back.
Yeah, but then you're going to come back to Earth and very quickly, like, go back to Earth size.
I mean, I guess so. I don't know how the science works on that one. But one of the things that turns me off is like the whole bathroom and like shower situation up there. Like I saw an astronaut be like, "This is how we shampoo," and it's like this shampoo that you don't take out. You just rub this goo in your hair, and you're like, "All done." And it's like, I'll shave my head. Where do we shave our heads at? Where do
This
we
device
back-
is for make believing that we're clean.
Dude, it takes one
I rubbed
stinky
sand in my
guy
hair and then
to
just
ruin
pretend it was
everybody's
dry
time.
shampoo.
Oh my god!
I think it's a lot of moist towelettes.
A lot of moist towelettes.
And
Towel-
That's my
shitting
camping
and
move.
pissing into that bag every time, or not bag, but like that vacuum situation, whatever. Like
Yeah.
all that seems so awkward. I can't imagine living up there for months at a time, especially the way we do it. And it's not even that sci-fi bullshit where you can kind of move around and there's plenty of elbow room. Like they're in a little closet up there. That thing is tiny.
The whole crew would come back traumatized. Like Woody masturbates a lot.
Woody, use the vacuum bag. It'll make its way back to me.
Well, at least look out the window while you're here. Like,
You'd have to shoot a lock and load commercial for us while you're up there.
Woody, we're going on a spacewalk. I'm doing stuff. Come on.
yeah, he was looking at porn on his phone the whole fucking time.
You're supposed to be monitoring the oxygen levels. You're there jerking it.
I wonder. The astronauts don't talk about it. I wonder if jerking off in space feels great. I wonder what that's like.
I bet it's a mess.
I was thinking sex would be a problem because most
I
of my
wonder if the
techniques
body-
involve gravity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
No, you Velcro that bitch to the wall. She's in trouble.
you Velcro her.
Has
You
anyone?
wouldn't wanna
Have
skinny
they ever
sex?
confirmed anyone had sex in space? Like,
No,
I
I
don't
don't
think
talk
it
about
happened.
that. I don't talk about
100%.
that. I
100%
bet Leonardo
sure.
DiCaprio flies up there and fucks
I
ladies
guess it
all the
probably
time.
has happened.
You think he
He's
does?
probably got a spaceship. Yeah. If he doesn't have one, he knows someone that does.
He is cool, and I like him, so I bet he has.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Leo.
Yeah.
I was curious about something you said earlier. You were a game journalist. What was that like? How'd you
Yes.
get that gig?
Well, it's interesting. I actually got. I was a nerd. I still am, obviously. So actually, at a very young age, there was this. God, I'm going back like ancient history. There was a website called the GIA, the Gaming Intelligence Agency.
Okay.
That went under. That got spun off into a game website called GameForms.com. And I was in high school, and I would read their letters column, and their letters columnist quit, and they said, "We need a letters columnist." And as a 16-year-old idiot, I'm like, I can answer fucking letters. I was like, yeah, let me be then they sent me some sample letters, and it was a guy, and he'd be like, oh, I like the new Final Fantasy. And I'd be like, the new Final Fantasy sucks. You're a fucking idiot, and here's why. Yeah, that's pretty funny. And they put me on there, and they're like, so like, what's your like social security or whatever? I'm like, oh, I don't know. I'm like 16. We have a 16-year-old letter. God damn it. So I kind of duck. I worked, like off and on different sites. Probably the one people would know was Destructoid. I did a lot of stuff for them. I worked for a while for a site called GameZone.com. And yeah, it was fun, man. Like, I mean, it was fun. Game journalism sucks. You've seen it now. It got taken over by all the nerdy kids who had their own lunch table where they all just complained about the jocks. And they're like, when we're working at the magazines, we're going to make it just for us. And it got completely taken over by activists and losers. But for a while, it was like really fun and cool. And I'm sad to see what has happened to video game journalism. Like nobody reads these websites anymore because it's all a bunch of dorks and losers writing this stuff.
I don't even know what the big video game journalism sites are. Like
IGN, I guess, GameSpot,
Kotaku
are still the big two.
Steam reviews.
That Polygon site's going strong, but then like half of them just keep falling off because they keep hiring the same cabal of losers and morons to write think pieces about how Halo relates to indigenous welfare in the modern state. And you're like, no one wants to read that.
Oh, I hate
man.
that. Boo. Yeah, that sucks. Why women in video games should be fatter and uglier? Opinion piece. And it's like, what?
We
That's
need characters
kinda
that
funny.
represent us,
All characters should be
the fat and ugly
hot
women.
in video games. There should be no ugly characters.
It's
All right, what about the
Unless
villains?
they're a bad
It's
guy.
the same thing
That's how we know
you
to
saw
hate them.
Vice had to fire everybody
I'll fix it,
recently.
bro.
It's the same thing that happened to Vice magazine. Vice magazine used to be like completely badass. I was showing Dick, I have an old Vice magazine. He's like, wait, there was like porn in here? Like, oh yeah, there was like naked chicks. And here's an article about how like the biggest propagators of slavery were actually black people, and all the stuff white people did is not that big a deal. Like Vice was like super base, and that's from like an issue from like 2004. I mean,
Damn.
remember Gavin McGinnis was running the fucking thing, and he was nuts in the head. And then Vice eventually was like, yeah, but what if it was about like, the Vice article we were looking at was how to eat out a non-op trans woman, and Dick's like, so how to suck a dick, and I'm like, that's correct.
No, you're making that up. That can't be real.
How to eat out a non-op trans woman is an actual Vice article from their website. Yeah, and you're like, a non-op trans woman. Hold on.
Don't
I think it was
forget the
also
balls.
it might have also been about eating ass.
Oh my God, this is a real article.
That's a real article.
Link it for science.
Did they gamify it at least? Did they make it? Is there any way to get points?
I don't know. I haven't looked at the article yet. I just clicked it and now I'm linking.
This is a problem I brought up on the show, is that like genuinely I wanted to be a journalist. I wanted to write articles and like weird gonzo journalism type shit. But then it just completely got taken over by these, hippies and weirdos.
And
then I was pitching dick.
They're pitching the idea that people with penises might not want them sucked. What?
I just think, I think anybody can figure out how to suck a dick. If you have a dick, it's a lot easier too. You know what feels good.
Trans women refer to their genitals in a myriad of ways.
Oh boy.
This is an article. Some say clit, vagina, vulva, dick, girl dick, cock, junk. Thanks for running this through. What? For illustrative reasons, I've used anatomical terms like glands and penis at times in this piece, but I've otherwise let the women interviewed describe their bodies however they prefer. Names for oral sex run the gamut.
This is the Vice everybody knows now. I knew the Vice as like an underground Canadian magazine.
Oh, it's Vice.
That had pictures of lesbians like chugging beers, and it was awesome. And like weird fucking subversive cartoons and Gavin McGinnis ranting about whatever the fuck he was. Like Vice was so cool.
Clearly, they're under new management.
Wait, but have you considered this? Mara, a trans woman in Chicago, says her description for the act depends on the situation. Quote, I'm pretty flexible in what I use. Sometimes I like it rougher and will say things like, I want you to suck my dick now. And other times it's very sweet. Wow. So that's
very womanly language.
Here's this confuses me.
Very flowery.
Listen carefully. Depending on what she likes done with her testes, you can either leave them alongside her clit or tickle and stroke them. I don't know how to
alongside
her testes and her clit. That you don't get all of those.
These are the kind of articles.
No, you don't get it, Woody. That's the problem. That's why you're reading this article. Hopefully, you glean something from these words.
See, I have trouble laughing because genuinely, growing up, stuff like Vice magazine, I was like, "That's it. That's where I want to be. I want to be with a bunch of these crazy writers writing crazy, fucked up articles, going to like weird." Remember when Vice did all those documentaries? Remember when they went to North Korea with Dennis Rodman and played fucking pickup basketball, and Kim Jong-un took him out to karaoke, and you're like, this is the fucking craziest shit in the world. And then it just turned into this shit, and it's like actually depressing.
This is all just talking about sucking dick.
I honestly don't mind the article at all because I thought we were on a gaming website and it was on there. I thought this was when I first reacted, I thought this was sandwiched between like the new Mario game and like Zelda Forever like reviews, and they were also like, hey, while you're here checking out Sonic, just so you know, sometimes she likes it when you call it her girl dick. And
it might as well be. Some of the video game websites started publishing fucking insane shit. I remember one point, Vice had a video game spinoff called Waypoint, and they're like, this week we're publishing a trans gay fan fiction or whatever. And you're like, what? Why? And they're like, well, fan fiction is very important in the gaming community. Here's a story, and it was You ever see that game Nier Automata, and it's about like a sexy lady robot? She has a little kind of gay twink looking robot friend.
No.
And it's like, what if she put her gay robot friend in like a dress and pegged him? And I'm like, why the fuck is this on your video game website? What is this? And like, well, it's powerful and uplifting to the gay community. I'm like, it's just a little gay robot getting his ass pounded by another robot. This shouldn't be on a video game website.
How is that uplifting to anyone? And how does that tell me how to get the ultimate armor? Like,
you see the time Kotaku published Harry Potter like 3D porn, and you're like, those are kids, dude. What? This is Kotaku. And they're like, oh, video game porn is not nearly as sexy as you would think. Here, we found a mod that undresses these 14-year-old Harry Potter characters and has them fuck the shit out of each other. And they just put it on Kotaku on like the front page. And you're like, I think you guys have all lost your fucking minds. This is not video game journalism.
I think you've lost the plot here. This is from that same Vice article. In Girl Sex 101, Girl sex 101.
Girl sex.
Moon suggests a technique she calls the flying squirrel, which involves gently gripping the scrotum skin. Girl sex 101, by the way. Gently gripping the scrotum skin, making sure to not grab the testes or tubes. They're getting scientific here. And pulling the skin over the top of her glands. The skin will stretch out and look glossy. You can then put your mouth right in the middle, pressing down against her clit through her scrotum. Then you can lick, nibble, and eat her out like, whoa.
Come on.
She adds, depending on what she likes done with her testes, you can either leave them alongside her clit or tickle or stroke them. Dude, this is...
Are they saying to jerk off the front of their dick with their ball skin?
I'm going to need a diagram. I'm going to need a diagram.
That's what it seems like they're saying.
I can't find her clit in this situation.
Oh, my God. If she likes prostate stimulation, a finger inside her anus while you're eating her out can be delightful. There's nothing to
I remember flipping through Vice. I'm like, I wonder if that new Coheed and Cambria album's good. I got an 8 out of 10. At no point was like, you can take the ball skin and wrap it around your trans girlfriend's. I don't want to know. I don't care.
This person getting home from work being like, hell of a day at the office. Was writing about how to fucking...
I wrote 1,500 pages on how to find a guy's clit.
Yeah.
1,500 words, I mean.
It is crazy though how much these outlets like completely dropped the ball, because like they were ahead of all of us. They had the production facilities. Like, how did YouTube not get dominated by these guys? If they just hired some guys with talent to pump out podcasts and like videos, it would have been fine. But they had to hire all their stupid activist buddies to write like these crazy transsex articles, and you're like, what are you doing? You're bleeding money. No one is reading this shit. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I was friends with this guy, Tim Rogers. He's one of the greatest fucking game journalists that ever lived. He's fucking hilarious. And he was working at Kotaku, and he was the only thing working about that organization. And they were getting hundreds of thousands of views on their videos. And then COVID hit, and he's like, well, I'm kind of the only thing about this website that works, and I don't want to come into the office and wear 2 masks every time I got to come in. So can I just make my stupid videos from home? And they're like, no, you have to come into our stupid, like, unnecessary New York office space that we paid way too much money for, so we can all sniff each other's farts and pretend that we're living some sort of journalistic dream. And he's like, okay, I'm just going to open a Patreon and make $20,000 a month then. Like, all these sites just shoot themselves in the foot. They can't hire any talent. I've gone to these sites and I was like, this is why I started doing my own YouTube channel, because for the longest time I was trying to make it as a journalist. And I would go to these guys and go, listen, I'm a fun talker. I'm a funny guy. I have video production skill. I've, know all the fucking programs, and I can edit together an interview and a teaser. And, I did a ton of fucking event coverage. I went to every like E3 in the country, PAX, and I would just interview all the developers. And I'm like, I'm doing all this shit. Will you just give me a staff? Will you fire? I know you need like 10 trans people on the staff. I get it. It looks good. Okay, but maybe you can fire one of them to make room for the fat Italian guy who screams about Halo sometimes. And they're like, we got to fill that with like, a black albino. We met an albino midget, and we want to hire that guy. And I'm like, all right, you know what? Fuck it. I'll just go make my own YouTube videos.
You didn't write enough about scrotums.
No, if I had written about like my struggle, all of this shit, man, all these like crazy diversity initiatives, and then you come out to LA and you're trying to get hired as a writer, and they have all these programs where it's like, it's like the leg up program. You send in a spec script, and then we get you into these programs, and maybe we'll get you a job writing on a show, whatever. You got to write a little essay though, and then it's like, tell us about your struggle as an indigenous teen in America. And you're like, I don't really have that story. They're like, what makes you a diverse voice? And I'm like, I'm just like a fat white guy, man. I don't fucking know.
Yeah. They're not interested in how good your writing is or the kind of content you can produce. You need to check.
No, it doesn't matter at all. I've had people in Hollywood say, man, you're a really good writer. Just my boss told me we can't hire any white guys right now. And I'm like, yeah, cool. Great.
It's like awesome. IT.
Yeah.
I'll just learn the code. Why don't I?
Yes, they don't hire white guys in IT. Sorry.
No, it's crazy. There's a big lawsuit right now, actually, where a guy who was working on whatever that Navy SEAL TV show is had the same like experience where he's like, why am I not a staff writer? And they're like, oh, you'll be a staff writer eventually. He's like, I wrote the season 3 finale. Like, I've written so many episodes of the show, and they're like, yeah, but we got a new black guy, and then we got another new black guy. We got to translate, we got to hire like a bunch of those. Eventually we'll make you a staff writer. And he's finally suing. He's saying, guys, come on. Like I've written half the episodes of the show, and you won't make me a staff writer.
That's absurd.
I'm hoping that it works out for him because these quota-based hiring things. I know it's like cliche to complain about it, but it is genuinely horrifying.
Yeah, it makes for worse content
looking for another
everyone.
white guy to hire around here.
Need to get another one?
That'd be good.
Yeah, we got to hit the quota. You know,
We gotta hit the quota.
One of us isn't white enough.
Where those companies come into play.
Guess who?
swore the individual down there in the corner. We don't quite know about him, and he refuses to take the DNA test. That was dog blood you sent.
I don't need a DNA test.
We need the DNA test.
Made me the palest among us, if anything.